Now is Tony Shiret. He's retail analyst at the broker Whitman Howard. Tony, good to see you. The numbers were actually not too bad, were they?
That's right. They beat expectation. Obviously, somewhat not particularly impressive expectation, but yeah, there were some good points in there.
But I guess of most concern is the fact that while clothing, they've stopped the hemorrhage there, the like-for-likes in food have gone into reverse slightly.
Well, it's a big surprise. Last time we met with Marks and Spencer, it was full steam ahead, rolling out Simply Food at 7% new space per annum, which is impressive. I don't think many people thought it was a wise move, so actually reining back, I think people think is probably sensible, but it was a surprise.
I mean, they've talked today about how they're going to potentially step up store closures. Are they moving fast enough for you?
I personally think they need to be more drastic in what they're doing. Retail is moving at a very rapid pace, and Marks and Spencer's is effectively playing catch up. You know, it's looking in the rear mirror all the time and trying to get where it should have been about 5 or 10 years ago. So they've lost a hell of a lot of sales in these stores over the last 5 years, and their existing closure programme isn't enough.
So how much deeper should they be cutting the store estate then?
Well, they're planning to lose about 10% of their clothing space in the UK over 5 years. I mean, they probably lost about a quarter of their in-store clothing sales over the last 5, so they should probably be doing twice as much as that.
Now, as we mentioned, Helen Weir is going to step down as Chief Financial Officer. I mean, this looks as though Archie Norman, the new chairman, is making his presence felt, doesn't it?
I think he's made his presence felt in a number of ways today, and you know, it's funny because Archie and Helen were both finance directors at Kingfisher, and maybe there's only enough room for one former Kingfisher finance director on the board. But you know, this sort of pretty large strategic announcement was not expected, and you know, clearly it would not have gone through without Archie saying it was okay with him. So I think Chief Exec Steve Rowe is now sort of under a bit of pressure, more pressure to perform.
Now, you recently put out a note to your clients suggesting that M&S should merge with Next. I mean, that would never get off the ground, would it?
The reason that I think that you know, people should start thinking about these types of big mergers is highlighted by today's news. One of the things they said was that because of the pressure on the overall business over the next 5 years, they were going to cut the cost base, the operating cost base, by 10%. That's £350 million, and retailing is moving very fast. They are going to find before the 5 years are out, they're going to need to cut a lot more costs, and the only real way of doing that is if you've got some costs to cut. Now, obviously, if you can combine large retailers, then you've got a bigger cost base to cut. And the other point about it is that Marks and Spencer's may be #1 in UK clothing, but it's only got a 10% market share. That must be one of the smallest leading market shares. Put it together with Next, it's got about 18%, and it's got more pricing power.
All right, Tony Shiret, always good to have you on the programme. Thanks for joining me.